Welcome to Application Security MythBusters, your podcast series for understanding the importance of clean code in a primarily digital economy. Our promise is to bring you some of the finest minds in the industry to help you and those you work with understand and learn how to mitigate against the risk inherent in application development. This information is brought to you by Cenzic, the innovative leader in application security risk management, vulnerability assessment, and compliance solutions. And here is our show host, Mandeep Kara, Chief Marketing Officer of Cenzic.
Hi, this is Mandeep Kara, Chief Marketing Officer for Cenzic, again with another episode of Application Security MythBusters. And today our guest, and we're live at the RSA show, and today we have a very special guest, Ira Winkler, who's the author of Spies Among Us, and he's very well known in the industry, in the security industry. Welcome, Ira.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you some questions around myths around application security and why people are not doing enough. But let's start by kind of getting your perspective on where application security is today.
Application security is from anywhere from decent to sucks. The problem is that some people do it reasonably well. You have a lot of people that do it really, really poorly. And those people that do it really, really poorly kind of ruin it for everybody else.
And so one of the reasons why a lot of companies are not doing anything is they say, well, application security is too hard to do or too expensive and those types of things. What do you think about that?
That's really, really stupid. I mean, it's sort of like saying, well, gee, I would really like to be I want to be a doctor, and I am a doctor, but, learning about new surgical techniques, going ahead, being insured to be a doctor, that's kind of expensive, so I don't want to do it. It's like, again, sorry, really beating analogies to death. It's sort of like, I want to have a car, but I don't want to insure it, I don't want to maintain it, but I really need a car, and I should be allowed to have a car, but why are all these people telling me I have to drive safely? I mean, that's the situation with application security and everything like that.
And I think also it's from an ROI perspective. Once you get hacked, you're pretty much, that kind of justifies all the costs, right?
Let's put it this way: after you get hacked, and you're known to get hacked, because that's the problem. You're known to get hacked. Because frankly, some of the hacks that people encounter, you don't know they have hacked you, and you might not see any results, so you might not actually care. But the problem is like when you are hacked, you can be screwed. Do you want to let your whole career, your whole lifeline, your whole legitimacy depend upon the intents of a criminal? So
that's well said. Also around standards and regulations. So again, some companies believe, hey, I can be PCI compliant, payment card industry, which is a really good standard as a first step. But a lot of people are using it as a checkbox and saying, hey, I'm PCI compliant, I'm secure. What do you think?
Here's the problem. Everybody says that all these requirements are bad and that they're useless and everything like that. The problem is without them, we have nothing. And it's sort of like there are some people, ironically, the people who suffer most are the people who are doing everything right in the first place. But the people who do nothing are being forced to do something. And is that the only thing they should do? No, but at least it's a common baseline that gets us from being really screwed to potentially screwed.
And even people and companies who are doing anything about app security, we found that they are doing very selective testing. So, for example, either they would test a small portion of all of their apps, or they'll test apps like once a year, right? So, what do you think about that approach?
Frankly, that's a case where people should start having tools, and there is a potential need to do a sampling of things like that, but there's got to be a baseline where do you go to do deep inspection? I mean, I would like to see every line of code dissected to every last bit if I could have it. The reality is that you kind of should have the process automated, and then possibly you should also have some manual techniques on top of the automated techniques, so that you get everything gets at least an automated scan, and that other things get deep scanning. And frankly, ways I do that is because really I found that security is dependent upon the people doing it. So what I would do is I would kind of spot check people in groups. And that's a critical thing, because you don't just spot check one person for everything. You go across the developer's line and you do have them broadly scanned, and then also focus in on a few key aspects, and then focus in on every individual developer, and you can kind of do a sampling of their stuff to see if, in general, do these people know what they're doing.
No, that's a good point. It's kind of like doing a quick health check first before you decide on where to do the surgery, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to go ahead, and it's kind of, you got to do the health check. And let's say you're searching a bunch of kids to see if they have the flu. You know, you want to examine a few, and like you examine a couple out of every class to see if they're exhibiting signs of something. So you're taking a statistical sampling, which is for a very, very deep dive. But on the other hand, everything that goes on the internet better be scanned or at least searched in one way or another.
Well, Ira, thank you very much for sharing your insights, and thank you very much for your time as well.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you again, and this is again Mandeep Khera signing off until the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Application Security MythBusters. The practices and approaches discussed in all of our episodes are based on both the vast knowledge of our guests as well as the thought leadership and industry expertise of those from the show's sponsor, Cenzic. We value your input, so please feel free to email us at mythbusters@cenzic.com. That's mythbusters@cenzic.com with any comments, questions, or topic suggestions for future shows. Additional topics in this series, related white papers, and more information are available on the web at www.cenzic.com.